Hello.
Says we're going live. All right, I'm going to test something real fast. I'm going to make sure I can hear you on this.
Hey. Oh yeah, you're recording that, so that's fun.
Totally works. Hi. All right. Crazy. We're starting. We're going to give a couple minutes, see if we can get people to join and log in. So nervous.
Wow.
I don't know. It's our first live stream. Seems like we got volume. Well, here we go.
So how about that weather?
How about that weather? We're about to start this thing. Showed even more a minute ago. Nothing. Learning how to make it work.
You had more what a minute ago?
There's a 5 right here.
5 of what?
Somebody gives a thumbs up.
Just because I feel bad for us.
That's good. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll see how people join us. This is being recorded, I'm sure, unless I have to push the button. It's our first live Terry and I have ever done. If you don't know, this is One Strong Home. It's an extension to our 1StrongWarrior. We believe that there's 3 major pillars that create a strong home. One of those being the strong family. The other is the strong homestead, so that you can produce your own foods and have more independence. And then the strong warrior is the part that secures all that, maintains all that, and gives you the confidence and support you need, so the rest of it can all feel safe, right? So today we start our first kickoff with the One Strong Warrior Wednesday. And Terry and I have a number of things here we're going to talk about, but we certainly hope that people join us and can put in their questions, and then we can answer those live, right? We'll be holding these every Wednesday, and it'll give us a chance to kind of give you guys some feedback on some of the things you might wonder what's coming down as far as training or opportunities. And this is the greatest way for us to kind of hear one-on-one with you guys. It's weird for us though, because we sit here and set up our little camera, and hopefully it's got come across clear, and hope you guys can hear us okay, and our video's all right. And, yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll listen back and know whether or not it worked real well, because I think it'll be able to be viewed again tomorrow for those of you guys who can't catch it live. But a couple of things that we want to talk about right off the bat is what One Strong Warrior is, what it means, who we believe is involved in that picture being the strong warrior at your home. And yeah, I know that for Terry and I, it's really important that it's not thought of as just like the masculine or the man's job in the house to be that warrior. And that all comes down to what you think that security means. Obviously, guys like to go throw on the backpack, the face paint, and go running through the woods, pretending like they're, military security. But that's like the last portion of it, right? It is important to know how to manipulate a firearm. It also is important to know how to, protect your family and your home. And those are all parts of what One Strong Warrior does and what we talk about. But more than that, it's not being a victim, right? It's making sure that the different people in your family understand OPSEC, right? If you haven't heard that before, it's operational security. It's the thing that says my home and my food and my equipment and who I play with and where I store my stuff and how much of it I have. That's not something that we share, right? We teach you guys that those things are there for your security and your preparedness and your protection. And if you let that out to the public, you're going to find that it's not safe and secure anymore. And in times of difficulty, the last thing you want, or we would want, is somebody coming and stealing something in the middle of the night that they knew we had stored in our garage. You get the idea, right? And so that's security of keeping your information private and to you and your loved ones and the people you spend life with is really, really important. And that mindset can keep you from becoming a potential victim, right? Some of the things that we like to talk about are fear and what fear really means, right? So when you're afraid of something, it's because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Our job is really to teach you guys how to prepare with your homestead, with your food source, with your systems, whether it's like a generator for your power or where you get your water, and try and help you on that homestead idea so that those don't become difficult should the power go out or should the grid die or should. There's all the different reasons out there, right? And so the worry, the fear of that is not knowing what to do in that situation or what you can do to prepare for that situation, which is definitely different than the word terror, right? If something terrorizes you, it's because you know exactly what the answer is and there is nothing that you can do about it, right? So if you live in a home that only has electric heat, you have no wood-fired or propane or oil or gas additional heating source, and you might be terrified in a winter storm of what to do should that power go out and you can't leave your residence because in order to have heat in your home, you don't have a backup system. And that can be terrifying, right? You would only be afraid of it if you didn't know the outcome. The other outcome is obviously to prepare your home and to be kind of more self-sufficient should those powers go out. Our group all the time, we're just starting up, we're growing. And so these get-togethers, these meetings are going to have chances for you guys to reach out to us and talk to us about some of the questions that you guys might have. And if you feel more comfortable, you can always email in or text in or stop by our website, www.1stronghome.com. There's a blog there too, right? And there's an opportunity for you to send in questions that we can post in here as well. You can always drop it in the feed if you want for our next week's meeting. And we can bring up maybe your concern or your question. We can kind of give you a background on basic. What you'll find on these Wednesdays, we're going to be inviting other people to speak with us and talk with us. We have some great experts in some different things with home security, church security, firearm manipulation and safety. And this is all part of that warrior mindset, right? In addition to that, we'll kind of teach some things on how we recommend making your home not a target, right? And how you can be someone that's not a target. We've taught this with our children, right? When you're walking down the street, right? Don't look like someone who's not paying attention and you won't be a target. And that's the same thing at your home, right? We live at the end of a private road, and we're great friends with all of our neighbors. And our neighbors there know when there's a vehicle that drives up our driveway. And they do really good at stopping the car and asking, hey, can I help you guys find something, right? It does two things. One, it might actually help somebody find something. And then second, it lets them know that you're watching, right? And we've had people come up our road, even though it's a dead end, and definitely be someone we would be concerned about, right? And just let them know you saw them is one of the easiest ways to help protect your property teaching your children to do that as well, right? To just kind of wave at them, let that person know that they've seen them as part of that home security as well. One of the things to being a warrior is learning how to be prepared, right? Prepared in your food source, prepared in your family situation, your environment, and your plan. And that's something that we really believe in too. Even back to when our children were in elementary school, we had a plan for a situation where maybe the power was out and the school had to close down, or there was an earthquake, or there was some reason that classes couldn't continue. And if they were to have to be removed from campus by bus, taken somewhere else, their job for us was to go get a Sharpie or something and write it on the front window or the front glass doors of the school on where they were going to. So in case we stopped by that location and could not get a hold of them for some reason, we knew a message location that we could look for from our kids. And that was all part of that preparation and being a warrior mind, so that you can be on top of it and not afraid. One of the things we want to talk about here too is watching what you post and what you share. That's a really easy way to be a target, right? One of the things we're going to really be working on is not sharing too much about our home, even on this with you guys. We'll show you some pretty neat things, but I promise you we're not going to show you the fancy Facebook or YouTube pantry that has every single stored item that people can have. We'll show you examples, but I would also recommend that you don't do that. No matter how popular or how you think the monetization is going to help you out, if you show all the things that you have, there are going to be people that are friends or people that live near to you that should they need those items in the future, they're going to know that you have that storage and they're going to know right how to get that. And that could be a scary and dangerous thing on your homestead, right? Some of the other things that we really work with, warrior mindset, is making sure that if you have a flock or if you have cattle, all that is part of that too, right? If you have a live animal that's designed to be your food and your protein, or even, I guess, your vegetable garden, right? You could be the warrior. It doesn't have to be a guy. It could be a gal. It could be anybody that makes sure the fencing's in properly, the power's on if you have a hot fence, and if it comes down to it, trapping out or shooting out rodents and coyotes and animals that can actually, devastate your harvest, right? That's all. It has to be all part of it. It's not all life always on the farm. Yeah. Did you have anything?
Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, would you like me to ask a question since we don't have any?
Yeah, we also have a couple people. Yeah, go ahead. We don't have any
All right.
questions coming in yet. If you guys have questions, go ahead and post them in there. We can see you here in the live chat, and we'd love to help answer them.
All right, our first one, people may wonder, are we preppers?
Oh. Preppers is such a bad word, right? I mean, it's the answer is maybe, right? Maybe. Just like you watching this, the answer is maybe. Labels can be really tough, right? Because preppers mean that you're afraid of something and you're trying to plan for that thing. I would say no in that fashion. We prepare to have a different type of life that we want right now, right? I think a prepper prepares for something that's going to come someday or they feel like might come someday. And I feel like we try and live a different way, if that makes sense. We live with the foods that we want to consume and eat right now because of the health reason for us. We live in a place where we can raise our own proteins because we know the health differences of that versus what we can get at the grocery store, in addition to the cost savings for us, right? So it makes a difference in how you reference, I think, the word prepper.
But I think it's also important that we say that it's not a bad thing if that's how you describe yourself.
It's not a bad thing.
Even though there is a certain kind of vibe or opinion about it.
There is. And maybe you're very happy living the life that you have and you just want to put things away for an emergency. And that prepper mindset is perfect. It's fantastic, right? We live a little bit different, right? We live more of we use the word homestead, but the farmstead kind of an idea where we're producing the things that we consume today, right? And we do put food away, and we do buy long-term stored foods, and we do, plan for next spring, right? So absolutely. Do we think that someday we might be in a situation where the services we have are gone that we rely on? I think the answer is probably yes, which is why everybody who watches this is on our channel, because someday something might interfere with the things that are comfortable right now. And so the more you can put in systems, I think, to protect and hedge against that, or to reduce those uniquenesses that would change, it's what you want, right? I think one of the, TJ Morris from Barry Independent, he's likely not on today, but he's someone that I follow. He's pretty popular. If you haven't found him, go and find his Patreon. He uses a phrase to perpetuate normalcy for the people I love, right? And that is amazing because it's the answer. That's what preppers want to do. That's what farmsteaders or homesteaders want to do. Is they want to create this lifestyle of normalcy and perpetuate that as long as they can for the people they care about. And you guys watching are part of that, right? You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't have been invited if you weren't important, and we didn't feel like we could help you, do some of those same things.
All right.
Good answer?
I think so.
I think so too.
All right. I think I'm going to skip. I think you got a shout out.
Yeah, thank you. Who is that? Gordon. Hey, Gordon. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, who else we got on there? Nancy. Oh, hey, Nancy. It's good to see you too. Yes, prepper has kind of become a derogatory term, and that's too bad, right? I mean, it got commercialized, right? It's like it was, you were a weirdo if you wanted to prepare for something that was scary or dangerous.
Well,
right?
and it's kind of linked in with the conspiracy theory kind of stuff. I think that's what it's become. But I think if you really look at what it means, it's not a bad thing. I think that it just kind of alerts people to think, oh, okay, okay.
They're those kind of people.
Yeah.
And I would show you this. I brought props today. I brought some props. If you don't think you're a prepper, right? What was this just a few years ago? That's a roll of toilet paper, in case my video camera can't show you. And I would say that every person I know became a prepper of toilet paper during a certain window when toilet paper was becoming scarce, right? And they went, I remember when Costco said you could only have one case, right? The Costco toilet paper Nazi had to tell you, no, can't buy it.
All right, next
question.
I think I'm going to skip that next one and go to the third one. Where do women or children fit into the warrior model?
I like this. I believe warriors have to be women and warriors have to be children. I think there are different levels of what that means as a warrior. I don't know that every child or young adult is equipped yet to do things as far as like firearm control. But I do believe to have that mindset of empowering someone is important from a young age. It goes all the way down to telling a kid it's okay to tell somebody no, even if they're an adult. If there's something that makes you uncomfortable, you can say no. That's a warrior mindset.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger, exactly, from the very beginning. And most of the families we are around are really good at training their children that way. But not everyone has the same mentorship that we've had, right? And I hope that children understand that they are just as important. One of the more valuable things to teach a kid is what they should and should not talk about, right? For instance, if you're a hunter and you have firearms at home, right? And your 8-year-old kid is telling everybody in school that you have guns and dad lets them play with them all the time, right? That's not a very warrior mindset to be in a protective environment, right? And though that child may have held a rifle in the past, and though the parents may be teaching them and raising them with the traditions of hunting, which is I love. The things that we talk to our children about is how to have that conversation with adults in the family, and when it's not okay to have that conversation, because some of the other kids may really misunderstand that, and a child may say it in a scary or unique way. In addition to that, I would say young adults who are getting used to firearms, whether that's pistol, hunting rifle, shotgun, or like an AR platform rifle, they need to understand the operational security of that, to not be posting photos of themselves holding these firearms, because in our day and age, that is becoming dangerous for online presence. Even if they are the greatest, most well-rounded child, it can be dangerous in the eyes of a lot of other people. Don't feel the same way about firearms, right? Spouses, wives, are huge in the warrior mindset. I believe that Terry is just as capable as I am with everything that we have and all that we do. Now, there's a lot of things that she allows me to do more of and get more practice of, because we just have different, I would say, roles.
Different strengths.
Yes, different strengths. But I would never for a moment say, hey, honey, it sounds like someone broke into the back door. Stay here, right? I'd be like, by the way, do you have your pistol? Load that, buddy. We're going to be fine, right? And we have to be warriors in that together. There may be a time like that where my training would take over a little bit differently, and I would feel more comfortable clearing that house, right? But we're going to go into some of those training things on these other Wednesdays, where I'm a firm believer in just secure everybody in your house and let them take your television, right? Seriously. And then you load that firearm and you yell as you go through that house, I'm coming and I'm going to shoot. And you hope they walk away, hope they take off, right? Because in all honesty, it will forever change your life if you ever had to use a firearm with a home invader. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be inexpensive, right? And it's not going to be comfortable, right? So we have more on that as well. We have a couple more questions on here, Terry.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness. Welcome.
I feel like I need my glasses for how tiny that writing is.
Uh-oh.
Used to be.
Yes, I do know people who only have 6 pack of toilet paper and they think that's fine. I think that's perfect.
Now, most people just got the bidet.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nancy, that kids do need to understand that we're going to look out for them and we're going to protect them. But it's their job also not to be a victim, and that the world is not everybody in the world is nice, right? That's something that it's hard, right, to do that with your children, because you don't want to scare them, but you want them to be aware, right? They need to know that there's bad people out there. And I've said this too many times. All child molesters are really nice guys.
Yeah.
Right? They get people to trust them, right? And they have bad intentions, but they're really friendly. Like, come see my puppy, right? That's something that you have to be able to train a kid. Is just, you don't know this person. You shouldn't just naturally go to them, even if they're kind. And if you do, you have an adult with you, right? Those things they're valuable lessons, and they can be scary for sure.
And my background has been in education. Those of you that know me know that already, but I've done a lot of training and learned a lot about what that looks like in the school system, and talking to kids about these potential threats can be really scary. So it's important to have the conversation, let them ask questions, and definitely if it feels like they're uncomfortable, then take a break. Talk about something else for a while and come back to it.
Yeah. And even when we do firearm training classes, right, we've done them in the past where we brought in instructors and taught many different types of firearms, from bird hunting shotguns through rifles through pistol, right? Women and young adults are expected to be there, right? I don't for a second believe that that warrior position is only the man of the house. I believe that there's a man in the house, they need to be there. I believe that fully.
But everyone knows the plan.
But I believe everyone has to know the plan, and you can't just do that with one person being the head. But one of the things I reference, and you can find a lot of our information there on our 1stronghome.com. But there's a big difference between a dictator and a leader, right? A dictator says something, and a leader is responsible for what happens, right? And if you want to have a family that feels safe, you have to involve them. You can't just have them always looking to you for the answer, because many times you're not going to be there, and they need to know what to do in those situations, and that's all part of that warrior mentality, that training, right? What do I say? You don't want to be a target, right? By saying, look at all these cool things I am or what I have, but you definitely want to be capable of wielding any of that, whether it's physical or equipment, or just the mental aspect of making sure you're not making yourself a victim. Right? It really is. All right, what else we got?
Which one do you want to do next?
Let's do that one.
What should I focus on first if I want to be more self-sufficient?
First is a hard question, right? I think it's important to know where you are and where you want to go.
So if you're just starting out.
You're just starting out. Okay, let's say this is your first introduction into self-sufficiency and independence, and you're thinking maybe I should get chickens, right? You're that level, which is perfect.
The
right?
gateway farm animal.
The gateway drug to farming, right? It's the chicken. Yes, you should get chickens. Chickens are a great way to learn and produce inexpensive food, right? What I would say is go talk to people that have chickens, though, right? Like, you can spend a lot of money on, commercial chicken coops, commercial chicken feed, heat lamps, incubators. You could do a lot of things, and it'd be wasted, right? So I would say on that, go talk to people who have chickens and have raised chickens, and call us, talk to us, right? If you want to get into chicken farming, we've done chickens for 20-something years, 23 years, something like that, right? Yeah. Everything from egg-laying chickens to broiler chickens. We've done them 100 at a time, right? Normally 50 to 75 at a time, but we've done a batch of 100, which was a very long day of butchering. So I would not do that again. We've done pheasant. We've done ducks. We've done turkeys. We have a lot of turkeys right now, and they're a ton of fun. If you ever done poultry, that's a cool one. Quail. We did quail, which, man, they're amazing animals. They reproduce faster than anything you've seen. Like at 3 weeks, they can lay an egg. 3 weeks old, they can lay their own egg. And then like a week and a half or so later, that one gets born. So every like 4 weeks, you got new ones coming. They're pretty amazing. They take up like no space at all. They're beautiful. The hardest thing is that they're so beautiful when you go to like butcher them. You feel terrible, right? For me anyway. You might be fine, but for me, I felt a little, didn't make me happy. And it was like after 50 in a row, and you ended up with like this much meat, I was like, man, I don't know if this is worth it to me. But they do eat just about anything, right? And they're a pretty amazing creature. They do reproduce fast. And if that's something you're getting into, if there's a couple of you or smaller portion meals, you get like 2 chicken nuggets out of each one of them. But they're very tasty. They're a very easy animal to grow.
I believe considered game bird, though. They are game bird. They're pretty ruthless to each other when they're not in a very big space. Yes,
we have had a lot of different poultry, and between pheasants and the quail, if they have something happening in their little environment where there's maybe not enough water, a little bit of stressors, they've been moved too many times, there's a couple too many males, they don't have the right feed that they're into right there, or the minerals, they will murder each other. Like we had like 50 or so pheasants, ringneck, beautiful pheasants, right? And in 1 week, like 25 of them died, like just got torn up, and all you see is wings and a rib cage. Like they all just jump on it like pterodactyls, and all of a sudden run away. There's nothing left but feathers and a rib. It's really, really amazing. But more than that, like your stages of where you want to get it to self-sufficiency, like where do you start, right? And I would say start with a chicken, right? Learn how to be keepers of that. Involve your children in that. It's really exciting. They're not a very dangerous animal. Worst case, you get one that kicks and then you just put it in the stew pot, right? And you get the rest of them that don't kick, right? You get a pretty early look on what they can produce as far as eggs. If you've just raised a chicken, it's going to be about 5.5 months, give or take, depending on the breed. We've done bantams, which were a little bit longer than that to lay eggs, but environment has a lot to do with it. But I would start there, right? And then I would look at how you can set your life up so that you can start saving a little bit as you go. Whether you're going to the grocery store and buying extra canned goods or extra rolls of toilet paper, set up a space in your house where it's not your working pantry and try and get it to 1 week's worth of food. Or if you didn't actually have to go to the grocery store, what would it be like for that week? And I think that's where you start. And then it may be a situation where if this is something you love and you've moved in and you started maybe now you have a raised garden bed for one spring or something, and you're ready to expand that, depending on your property size, right? Talk to people who've done it in the past. And it may be a situation where what you want and the dream you have doesn't fit on the land you want, right? And you may need to plan that next step of your life. But I would start there. I would start with chickens and an outdoor raised garden bed. And I would, for me, health of our stuff is important. So if you can find your organic foods or your soils from like a local farm rather than the bagged soil,
trade with a friend.
Trade with a friend, right? That's a big one. That's a lot of what this is finding a mutual assistance group, a MAG, if you've never heard that, right? That have the same ideas in mind. And they might grow or harvest something that you need, and you might have something that they can use, right? And that is part of it. That really is all of it.
So Nancy brought up a good point about chickens, keeping chickens, that they are super easy. You just need a safe place, and predators being a big problem around here.
Yes, absolutely. We just had a neighbor's dog. We're gonna have to talk to the neighbor eat one of our roosters right out of the coop.
And if they're on here, then
yeah, sorry. Love you guys.
We're gonna come talk to you.
Yeah, but it happens, right? Dogs naturally want to eat birds, right?
And dig,
right? This little coop that we have is kind of an ex-billet coop, and it's got it's the bachelor pad. It's all the roosters we don't want because they were fighting each other. And when the roosters,
they were fine. We just had too many.
Just had too many roosters, right? So now we have a couple fewer, but they're in another spot that doesn't have an anti-dig spot, and it just happens, right?
And sometimes with predators with your chickens, you learn the hard way. Unfortunately, we've done that a few times with raccoons. A couple times with raccoons. Raccoons are pretty strong.
They're very strong. They're very strong. And if you've had a raccoon get in, they're gonna get in again. They just unfortunately, I know they're cute, but they're giant rats and they need put out.
Well,
I'm going to tell you right now, they need gone, right? And that's part of that warrior mentality, right? If that's your food source, right? That's part of your livelihood. Now, some death on the farm is going to happen. And that's also important too, especially as you raise children or you're involved in that, knowing that there's a portion of what you grow is not going to make it, right?
Yeah, Nancy agrees with that about raccoons.
Yeah, they're cute. They're cute not in my property, right? They're cute on somebody else's garbage can. They're a nuisance, and they're dirty.
Other animals that we've heard other people have called the weasels.
Yeah, weasels will just devastate your flock. A weasel needs no space. It can climb anything. It can go through chicken or like barbed wire, or not barbed wire. What was that? Like cyclone fence, right? They don't need much space at all. They're like if their head gets through, their body goes through, and they'll suck all the blood and brains out of your ducks and chickens, and they will just tear them up. And they never get full. They just eat and kill. They're another one. They're a lot harder because they only come out certain early times of the morning, and they're very sneaky. They really, really are. But you can trap those out if you can't get a night vision out there and pop them with your friends. Yeah, weasels.
All right, I think, did we get all of them?
Yeah. All right.
Weasel family, the worst.
Maximum movement. Hey, nice to see you. All right. Okay, so.
And green ducks are a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, ducks are cool. Terry's done bantam ducks for a while. We don't eat our ducks. Some people eat their ducks. We don't. They're just beautiful. They're an amazing animal.
And we cook with their eggs. But yeah, we lost a lot of our flock last year to raccoon. So we're building back their Australian spotted bantams, I believe. So they're considered endangered, I believe, still. But
we had one of like 100 mating pairs left in the U.S. about 10 years ago. And then we sold off a flock, and then the ones we had left got eaten by something, which sucks. We're just down to a couple now, but hopefully we can bring them back up. They're just they're great mid-sized duck. They typically have good attitudes. They'll follow you around like puppies, right? And they stay home, which is pretty cool.
And the ones we have can fly.
They can fly.
So that's kind of fun too. They fly around to our pond when we let them.
Yeah. Kind of neat thing to have on the farm. They do eat slugs. They do all that kind of stuff. They're masters at bugs. So yeah, it's pretty neat animal for sure.
Yeah, on our farm, everything needs to have a purpose. So that's their purpose.
We got a couple of dogs that don't have a purpose still, but we'll see. Security dogs. Yeah. A good friend of ours recently stated they have no pets on the farm, right? And we've gone through some moments of that where we had things on the farm that were a lot of work that produced nothing for us and provided nothing for us. And even though we loved having them, we chose to get rid of them. We had goats for a little while. Goats are a kick in the pants, man. They're a lot of fun. They do brush better than anything out there. If you want to just let a couple of goats go on a tether like a dog, they will just eat a pathway and poop, eat and poop all day long. They'll never stop. Right? And they're really, really amazing animals. But they have destroyed more thousands of dollars of fence than any other animal on our property. They fight over standing on a flat rock. They're really funny. They're always screwing around, but they like to stand on fences or lean on fences or rub up against fences. And even the no climbs, they can get their little cloven hoof thingy on there and they just stretch it to the ground, and then they just walk out, right? And they're pretty hardy animals. They can go just about anywhere, right? Like if you just put a fence post out in the middle of the property, at some point there's going to be one standing at the top of that fence post. Mm-hmm. They're just amazing. They're cute animals, but for us, they were really loud. They were always, every time I started my truck, they'd be like, Dad, Dad, Dad. They just sound like someone's yelling for me all the time, right? And we didn't eat goat, so.
And we heard early on, the way you test your fence to know if it'll keep your goat in is throw a bucket of water at it, and if any water gets through,
then the goats will get out.
You need to do some more work.
And that is true. They're always out. They just want to be, and they're masters. They're masters at it. And I don't know why, but they never really get shocked by the hot water. Like it hits them, but I don't know if they just jump when it's snapping or what. But it just never pissed them off enough not to go against it. So yeah, they're a tough animal for sure.
Nancy talking about just
birds for eggs.
Birds for eggs. That's fine. That's perfect. And it keeps more and more eggs coming.
Yeah, no, that's fine, right? We have chickens that way too, right? And we have like our ducks are fantastic egg to bake with. If you've never baked with duck eggs, it's the fluffiest, tastiest thing you've ever baked with. And I'm not sure about every duck, but the different couple of duck types that we've had, their eggs have been a fantastic product. I felt like the omelet portion, like if you use your eggs that way, was a little bit richer, right? The larger the duck, definitely the richer the flavor. But our bantams, they pretty much taste like chicken eggs, with just a little bit drier of a flavor, I'd say in them. And the difference about ducks and chickens, though, Ducks, so chickens lay like an ovulation, right? So they lay like every 28 hours, so not quite one every day. Through most of the year, and if you keep a heat lamp on them and whatever, they can go kind of all year long. But chickens, so ducks will lay a whole bunch during one little season, right? And you might get like 25 or 30 eggs out of a duck, and then they just stop for the rest of the year, right? So
ours kind of have like a beginning, like a spring, and then like almost fall.
Yeah, and then they'll go 6 or 7 months without laying anything, right? So just a little bit different. Yeah. What else we got here? Yeah, Jurassic Park. Yeah, that's right. Bucket test. She gets it. Yeah, she gets it. All right.
So maybe that.
Sure.
Where should I start if I want everything at One Strong Home?
Like if you want to replicate Chris and Terry, that's going to be tough.
I don't know if that sounds like a good idea.
I don't think that's a good idea at all. We are way in over our head with everything that we're involved in, but it's the life we want to live, right? So for us, we have 2 very large gardens. We have one which is all raised bed garden, which is our first start, and it has a couple of large apple trees in it. They're supposed to be small apple trees, but we get each apple tree gives us, I think, 6 of those black and yellow Costco totes full of apples every year, right? So we get 12 of those totes of apples. Our garden beds, we have a big raspberry area that used to be really prolific, and it's been tamed down now. We have a large bush that's kiwi, right? Kiwi berries about this big, like a grape. And those just started producing. We got them there for like 10 years, and they finally started tasting good. All our other raised beds used to produce a ton, and now we've kind of moved more of those to herbs and blackberries and some of the other boysenberries and flowers. And then we just opened up a new garden space 2 years ago, which is 50 by 50, give or take. 45 by 45, something like that. And we did some really cool patterns and circles and stuff in there and had walkways, and now it's all weeds, right? So it's all going to get tilled in this year. But that sucker's a producer, right? It has just been fantastic. We use our cattle manure to supplement that, so we don't bring in anything from like commercial type soil enhancers, right? It's just all natural. And I would say last year, we do a lot of gourds and melons and squash and those things that can keep. And I would bet, like those big boxes that hold pumpkins you see in front of like Safeway or Costco, I would bet we fed probably 1 to 2 of those worth of squash and gourds and pumpkins throughout the season to our cattle, right? And we ate quite a few, right? Like we eat a lot. We eat a lot of squash, but it was a ton. I mean, it was wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow off that little garden. Plus we grow corn and stuff like that, which always goes bad on the stock here. We grow a lot of green beans, and we grow a lot of peas and onions and
all right, I'm going to focus
tons
you
of
around.
great stuff. Sorry. Thank you. Where should they start? All right. If you want the things that we're talking about, I would say first, understand where you live and what you can accomplish there. And if what you really want is a different type of a lifestyle, then go live it, right? We have family right now that tells us all the time, hey, I wish the power would just go out, right? I wish that I wouldn't have this ruling my life. I wish my kids weren't always on screens. I wish, right? If that truly is something that you feel would improve your life, do it. Just do it, right? Make the jump. It's really hard to live without power, right?
Yeah.
But you could, if that were your thing, if that was what you wanted.
If we, one of our shortcomings is we don't have a greenhouse. We have some lights to grow and some situations where we can do starts, but that's something we can improve for sure. We had an uncle that moved up here from California and wanted to start his garden when he came up a few months ago. Mm-hmm. We were like, okay.
In October.
You're not going to be able to grow a lot right now, but there are some things that grow, but yeah, not a lot, not what he's thinking compared to the growing
Southern
season
California.
of California, yeah. So,
but yeah, I would say first look at where you live, and it's not that you can't be more independent, self-sufficient on like an interior parcel or an interior lot in a community, but it will be more difficult, right? One of the difficult things about living in a space like that is, let's say you do have a beautiful, fantastic garden, right? And let's say you do have a wood stove and a generator and all the things that can make you safe, secure, and independent from other programs failing you, right? You're going to be the only one in that neighborhood that's like that. And if you don't think that that makes you a target, then you're forgetting the one strong warrior portion, which is put yourself in a position where you're not a target, right? You have to be a warrior mindset on that, as in if this is the lifestyle I want, or if this is the preparation I desire, if I'm the person that's going to make a situation less of an emergency and more of an inconvenience, right? Well, you have to be willing to understand who's going to come and want that from you, right? That could be dangerous. That could be scary. So we talk about that quite a bit. Like if you, just like I said, you don't want to post things online of where your storage is, right? Just like I wouldn't go and post my cool pistol I got, right? You know, because then, I mean, what's that doing, right? It's showing me as a target, right? And I think that's important. That's that warrior side of it, right? Is there's all the things you can achieve. And through our get-togethers, whether it's Warrior Wednesday or Family Friday, there's going to be opportunities for you guys to come and talk to us and ask your questions that are more in depth on maybe one specific topic or another. That's not just about being the warrior idea, right? That's just one piece, one little bit of One Strong Home, right? That's the security to protect what you have. And I would say if you're starting and you want everything on One Strong Home, start to kind of look at some of those videos, follow us on Patreon. This is going to be my sale pitch to you right now. Right now we're open on YouTube, right? That's where we're at, the platform we're sharing tonight. These meetings, probably next week, if not next week, the following, will only be available through the link on patreon.com/1StrongHome. The reason is because we are going to share things with you that YouTube does not like. There's some stuff we can't say because of YouTube policy, right? Facebook policy, all that such. We may get into a class someday where we show a firearm. You can't do that on YouTube. You have to do that through the subscription, right? We do these trainings. We've done them for years in person, and it's been awesome. It's been safe for everyone there because we can watch them and they can learn how to use something or see something. But if you're going to be following us through some of these video options, you got to follow through the program. Now, in our Patreon page, if you haven't been part of Patreon yet, you should. Patreon's a really neat subscription-based program. It uses YouTube video links to show the YouTube because that's the biggest platform for video. But they're unlisted links, right? So they're only sent out to private members. Now, on Patreon, it's / or patreon.com, right? And it's One Strong Home. You can find us. It's got our logo. It's got everything. You can also find that if you find 1stronghome.com. There's a link right there, subscribe and save. If you do that right now, we actually have a break on the paid memberships, but you can always be a free member. If there's a free membership to One Strong Home, you can jump on and do that and see if you enjoy it. You don't have to put a credit card. You don't got to do nothing, right? Now, as you get into some of these classes, they start at the paid tiers, right? So we have 3 paid tiers. One is $5 a month. We call it Back to the Land, right? It's going to give you quite a bit of early access to our videos, a number of videos that aren't going to go through YouTube and Facebook general. They're going to be things that we want to talk about that we don't have license to talk about to the general public through YouTube, right? Our second tier, which is our middle tier, is the working family, right? That's $10 a month. It gets discounts on our merchandise and on our classes. It's 50% off. It's pretty awesome, right? There's a lot of classes on there where you'll be able to zoom in if you want or join us in person, right? Typically they're $10. We'll show you how to butcher and do a chicken. We'll show you how to actually do cattle. We'll show you how to cut and wrap meat if that's important to you. We'll show you how to do canning. We'll show you how to do freeze drying or using the dehydrator, right? How to actually save some of the seeds from your previous produce or from your previous farm. That thing for the next season can help you save a ton of money. It's going to be something that you knew you enjoyed, right? Those types of things are really awesome. And then our top tier here is tier 3. It's called the homestead. It's the ultimate goal that you might want to do. And we would love for multiple people to be there. We understand that most won't, right? $50 a month, I promise you're going to make that back from us, because there's a couple of systems that we offer with that. In addition to kind of these live streams, we'll one-on-one Zoom you and your family, and we'll get either pictures or we'll do a site visit of your farm and help you improve it, right? We've been through years and years of different systems and programs and wasted money, and found out the things that we felt worked best for what we've produced and what we've done. And I'll tell you what, if we would have had somebody just guide us in some of that, rather than us try and YouTube learn our entire 20 years, previous, we would have made the first half of our farmstead life financially easier, and a little, probably more headache free. I don't know how many chicken coops we built, but we finally got a chicken coop where we haven't had anything get killed in it in like 4 straight years, right? So
chicken tractors.
Tractors. Oh yeah, we do a great chicken tractor, and it's pretty inexpensive. But just to see it and do it and see how you can improve on it, work on it, and actually put your hands on it, and one-on-one, it's pretty awesome. So that's what our top 2 tiers, the working family and the homestead, get, is more of that one-on-one option. In addition there, if you guys are curious about where you store, I want you guys to go to patreon.com/1StrongHome. In there is an assessment tool, right? If you're part of the paid tiers, it comes free, right? It comes free. If not, you pay $10 to open it up. You download it, so it's not like we keep anything. It goes on your computer. It's Excel-based. It's about 70 questions. It asks everything about you and your homestead and your family, and how many are in it, and how much age they are, and how much property you have, how many animals you have, what kind they are, what kind of well you're on, you're on a septic, you're on a sewer. It goes through a ton of things, and it's going to give you a score. And that score is going to tell you how you look in the world of self-sustainability, independence, capability, reproduction of food, right? That is huge. It's very, very neat. And I'll tell you this, nobody scores perfect.
Well, and I think also, when going back to one of our earlier questions we asked ourselves, if you're just starting out, that's a great list to even go by. It has some great ideas if you maybe haven't thought about some of the things that are on there.
There's a ton of things on there. Just a tidbit, right? An example is, what's the heating source in your home, right? Do you have a backup? And then it asks, do you have a camp heater or a camp stove, right? So it gets you thinking, oh, I'm not totally an idiot. I know I might have an electric stove, but if the power goes out, I should just go get my camp stove and get one more of those little green canisters, and I probably will be able to make soup for the night, right? So those types of things are really important. So I want you guys to go on there. Like I said, you can find it through the www. Just go in there and click on the subscribe, right? 1stronghome.com or the Patreon. But it is on Patreon. It's $10 for the tool, or if you're a paid member, it comes with it. The top couple of tiers on that paid membership, we actually can reference and go back and help you out and help you improve and find spots to improve. Because you might be like, hey, Chris, why did I get a B-? I'm freaking awesome, right? And we can go through your score and say, hey, if you made these 4 or 5 changes, look how much that would change your score. And you can play with it. You can keep, it's your download. Once you've paid for it, you can just keep it, save it, keep it, save it, keep it, save it, right? You can restart it and save a copy of it, so you can see what's changed. And maybe next year you add something like more square foot of garden or something like that, right? And see how much it changes your active assessment. And you're going to be really excited on how you can make small changes that make big differences. And if you're ever curious on why some of those are set up that way, just call and ask us, and we're going to help you understand why that tool algorithm does what it does. But it's based on how many people in your family are producers, how many are consumers, how much you produce and how much you consume. And our goal is to make you guys net producers, not net consumers, right? If you can become a net producer, you have extra of the things that you produce, then we can teach you how to put it away. We can also teach you how to feed the people around you with it and help them out in their life as well.
All right, I think we're getting close to the end of the hour.
Okay.
If you wanted to wrap it up, so maybe talking about this last one and then what's coming up next. So are there going to be other focuses of question and answers or like this or other trainings?
There's going to be quite a few, right? So we will do Warrior Wednesday every Wednesday at 7:00, right? We will also be doing Family Friday, so One Strong Family Friday. The Family Friday is gonna kind of focus differently than this. The Strong Family sometimes will be led by just Terry, sometimes we'll be led together, sometimes myself, and we may bring some people in, right? We are religious, right? We believe in God. And we believe that that plays a role in how we train our children. Now, to me, I do not care what religion someone is. I believe that most people believe in a higher power. And regardless of where they attend church or if they attend church or which book they watch, 99% of all of them have the same ideas in mind. And they are like, we want to be happy and healthy, and we want to treat other people with respect and love, right? And I think that if you can start that and you build that, whether you're a 2-person family or you have 15 kids, I believe it will help you. In addition to that, there's a lot of support that we do in there, husband to wife, wife to husband, and to our children and back. We believe that that is a very, very strong portion of that pillar of the strong home. And it's always improving, right? It's something that, I mean, we do it all the time. And I believe that people should focus on that. We have a lot of opportunities, I think, to have guest speakers come in and talk to us, whether they're, they could be counselors, they could be just people that give us new ideas. It could be a yoga day, right? It's things that we really feel like is that holistic approach to your home and your family. With that, we even have some opportunities to what is it, essential oils, right? Some of those things that are part of your diets, or those are all part of that family nucleus and hope and dream, right? So Strong Family Fridays are less special ops, right? And more focused on the things that everybody should and needs to hear and loves to talk about. So.
Okay. There were a couple other things. Oh yeah, the chicken tractor. That's from Nancy. I think that would be a good one to focus on in the future with the chicken tractor.
That'd be great. Yeah, great one to go into.
Oh, and then talking about the alternative heat. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Decipher a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, they are pretty easy, those little butane stoves. And they're handy, right? And they don't take up a lot of space. They're pretty safe, even indoors, because they're not going to give off so many fumes that you have a problem, right? So there are options, and they definitely are. For us, we want to make sure people are starting to understand their options because one of the coined phrases we have is it's only an emergency if you're not prepared for it. Otherwise, it's simply inconvenient. And inconvenience is okay. But if you had no idea what you were going to do in that event, then that's a problem. A couple more quick things here. This is part of what we do. All right. That's a med kit. It's nothing special, right? This might have been a $10 bag I got on Amazon. We don't sell these. We do have some really good friends that own some companies, and I'll talk to them about hosting with us. But this has almost everything somebody would need for major casualty. Most Band-Aid kits, medical kits, cover things up to 1 to 1.5 inch max. If it's over 1.5 inches, most med kits don't cover it. And almost everything in here is designed to cover an injury over 1.5 inches. We have a farm, right? We run chainsaws, we have axes, we have splitters, we have hydraulic splitters, we have machinery, we have an excavator, right?
Even with being a coach and having our kids in sports, I mean, that's the main time you pull that out.
Yeah, how many times have I pulled this out for broken arm, broken leg, something as simple as a splint ice pack and a bandage, right? Is this thing right here. On the outside, you'll see I recommend every single person in their home get a tourniquet. This is a cat tourniquet. The new grayer style is updated in some fancy way. Make sure you get a name brand and not an off brand, because those don't work when you need them. But if you're going to have a farm, if you're going to get into things where you have a high chance for impact or injury, that's important. We teach classes like that too, and that would be on like Family Friday, where we will teach, and we want your kids to be there, how to apply a tourniquet, how to apply a pressure bandage, right? Which is, again, any injury larger than 1.5 inches, which is basically anything you actually truly need med kit for, right? Everything else is just a boo-boo kit, and it sucks. I mean, you don't want a blister, but this is for like actual injury. And we believe everybody should have one. We believe there's one in each one of our vehicles, our kids' vehicles and everything, including simple communication device. And we'll go over this as well in future classes, which is, it's just a radio, and it's pre-down with all the channels, and there's one in each of the girls' cars. And if there's a scenario where their cell phone can't get reception out or can't, the channels are blocked or whatever. And we've had times here where there was a small earthquake or something, and just you couldn't call everybody. There was only so many channels and they couldn't catch. Turn that sucker on and they'll know we can listen at the same time. So pretty awesome. And that's all part of being it, right? That's a warrior mindset is how do we set up systems in case the ones we rely on aren't there. That's all I got, Terry.
I think people are probably tired of listening to us.
Yeah, no, they want us to go for forever. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with us. This is our first, right? This is our first live stream ever. And so we hope to have more, and we hope to have tons more questions. And if we run through and we miss some of your questions, we'll bring them up next time for sure. Terry just started a blog on the webpage too. And so that's on 1stronghome.com under the blog. And it's pretty awesome. She just did her first drop. That was called The Done List. And I certainly hope you jump on there, comment on it. If you have other ideas, it's awesome too. It revolves around not just focusing on your to-do list, but the things you actually got done. And I've teased with some of you before, and we joke about it all the time, how you go out to grab something from the freezer and you've done 20 other projects before you got there. And then you're like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was getting ice cream, right? But you did all these other little tasks along the way that had nothing to do with your list. But you can find a lot of self-joy in seeing all those things you actually accomplished. Even though you might not have gotten the 10 things done you wanted in your day, you might have finished 100 others. And that's part of that self-joy. So I love it. Join that blog. Again, that's at 1stronghome.com. Please find us on Patreon and subscribe to us and become a member on that, because that's where all of this live stream is going to migrate to. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. We did good.
I think so.
All right. Have a great night, you guys.